All right, some might ask what I'm doing at 10:30 at night. And I would say I'm making a sensation video. That's right. We're doing a build with this one. I got the build over here in the box, and I'll tell you what it is because you're going to see. I'm getting ahead on content because I'm going to be tearing all this apart back here over the next couple of weeks. So I need to have about 5 videos recorded. So this is going to be one of the 5. Not one of them, about number 4 of the 5. I'll probably end up recording 5 or 6 of them. So I had to pick up a couple of things today. I wanted to record this earlier, but one of the things I had to wait to come in from the Amazon, and that was this. That was our $32 buy right there. That is a Patriot P320 M.2 PCI Express Gen 3 x4 solid state drive at 512 gigabytes. And then I needed thermal paste. Forgot to get it when I ordered the hard drive, so I ran up to Best Buy today and I picked up this box right here, and I don't even want to tell you what I paid for that. This is Corsair Super Chilled, as you can see from the box right there, and it was not cheap. So hopefully it was a good amount of thermal paste, because I go through way too much of this stuff. I'm constantly doing stuff that I shouldn't be, apparently, to use that much CPU paste, but thermal paste, but we're gonna need it. No, it's only 1 tube. Wow. I feel like I way overpaid for that. There's some kind of card in here though. What are these? Application kit. Okay. I'm not sure what this is, but we might as well take a look while I got you on here. So apparently we got this guy. Should I have read instructions? What am I looking at? What did I buy? I just wanted thermal paste. I've never needed a kit to put it on there. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'll read the box on this stuff. I just want it for thermal paste. I apparently got something different, but there's thermal paste in it, and I way overpaid for this. Way overpaid for it. Maybe some of you guys and gals know what it is, but I never knew thermal paste to be so fancy. This is all I need, and I way overpaid for it. $25 to get this tube. I think I seen this tube right here in the $7.99 pack, so I thought I was getting more than one because they're very vague on what they put on those boxes, so we don't need the 1050 because we're not using it. I had the 4th gen in this computer right here that has the sleep issues, and I took it out because even after installing Linux on it, it still had the sleep issues. And I don't know if I'm gonna get this thing ready to flip or to test Linux. I guess we're going to find out if it works together. I already flipped the power switch on. There's a green light on the graphics card, and we don't have any smoke or anything like before, so believe it or not, this is a case that did that. So this is a case that I had a board in that did smoke out and catch on fire on us. Did I get the wiring right? Let's find out. At least the power switch is right. Let's see if we post now. Keyboard and mouse is lit up. Gigabyte come up and it says insert boot device. Alright, it is definitely late now. And I don't even know why the heck I'm doing this, but we're installing Zorin. And I'm just escaping that because it's doing some kind of file system check that I don't really care for it to do. So we're going into the boot mode now. And this is the try it and install it option. So it's like the first one on there. This is the pro version of Zorin OS 2. So they got a couple versions. They got the pro and the core, and they may even have an education or something. I'm not sure. But this is definitely the pro version, and it's going through its Alright, we have got into the live installer. That's what I believe that they call these. Because you can see it's loading up the it's loading up Zorin OS right here. We haven't installed it yet because we're going to install it from here, so we got to let it load up. It took a few extra minutes because we have a GTX 1070. And it had to download and install the modern drivers for Linux for this, for the NVIDIA card. This plays much nicer if you have an AMD graphics card because they have really good drivers for Linux. It's not as nice if you have an NVIDIA card. But I'd say the GTX 1070 will work on it. So here's your choices right here. When this comes up, you can try Zorin OS or you can install it. I know I want to install it on this, so guess what? We're English. Yes, that's all good. You want to download updates? Sure. You can do a normal installation? Why not? Install third-party software for graphics and Wi-Fi? Absolutely. Let's just do it the simplest way possible, guys and gals. Alright, we're going to download updates. Yes, we're going to... Let's erase the disk and just install Zorin OS. No advanced features or nothing. Okay. If you continue, the changes listed below will be written to the disk, the partition tables. Okay, we're gonna be formatted to the NVMe drive, so we're good on that. I don't think I have any other hard drives hooked up, so it'd have to go to that. Yep, New York's good enough. Or not New York, but alright, what's my name? This is where I have to pause you out. Alright, so we're just copying the files on this install now. And since we're copying from USB 3 to an NVMe drive, I would bet that this doesn't take very long. I could be wrong though. I would almost bet you that it don't. The difference mostly between the Zorin Core 64-bit and the Zorin Pro 64-bit, the Core just has minimal. It's kind of like the difference between Windows 10 LTSC and Windows 10 Pro. Honestly, the Core is a stripped-down version of Zorin OS. That's what it is. It's the Zorin Core, basically. So if you want anything like Steam and all that, you have to... And not just Steam, but any of the image writers, all that stuff, you'll have to download all that separately from the software center or be able to code it in the terminal. Zorin OS Pro 64-bit is going to be loaded down with more software that is commonly used on it. So you'll get all the LibreOffice suite, and everything else, and I'll show you once we get in here what I'm talking about on that. It's not going super fast, it's not going super slow, but it's not going super fast even with the NVMe drive on the install. But I mean, what the heck, it's an install, right? That hard drive have a light in it, or is that light blinking from somewhere else? Help me understand what we're looking at in there. Never mind. I just got you paying attention to that, but we don't want the video 155,000 minutes long, so you know the drill. We're going to time lapse it. Boy, that took a while to get to the copy and file stage. It was like hung on the other stage for way too long. Was just copying the files over and got right to the end of it and started taking forever, and I'm really tired, so I don't know how much longer I can stay up. Hopefully this stage here don't take too long, but I might try to edit some video on this rig too. This might be good for testing that on too, because it's got Linux on it, so I'll download one of the free editors on that and give it a shot. I've been using CapCut on Windows, just so you know, to edit the videos, and I don't want to pay for the Pro because it's really expensive, so I have to not do any fancy things with the editing, and then I have to go into YouTube and edit it to add the music to it. So if I use any other one, I can just download the free music from YouTube and add it to the video when I edit it, so it doesn't take me extra time. But I gotta attempt to do everything the hard way, I guess. It's gonna take a few minutes to copy these files over. When I cut you back on, it'll be fully installed, and I'll go over it shortly, and I'm going straight to bed after this. I am tired. I don't know why I started this late, but I did. Alright, so early this morning or late last night, we started doing the install on Zorin OS, and we have it right here installed now. So the only thing I did, and I'll show you when we go into the appearance. So go over to your start menu on the bottom left here, click it, go to Zorin Appearance, and then you can choose your layout right here. So if you click at the different ones, it'll show you, it'll put applications at the top, all your messaging center at the top of it. You'll still have stuff at the bottom as well. That's just opening and closing the application, stuff like that. We'll go to this one. It's going to give you a little different layout. You still got the applications over here. They're just going to come up differently. You can see we got Zorin Appearance open, and this is just going to basically give you different formats or layouts. That's going to put it on the left side. So it's really cool to kind of play around with this. This is more the Windows 11 look, which I don't like that. I take it back where it's more like Windows 7 was. I make it a little bit smaller. That's just a little larger. That's a little smaller. That sort of thing. So I use the second layout there. If you go to theme, this is where you can select your background color. So if you want dark theme, then you can choose dark theme, or that's light and dark. And then this is light. So I prefer the dark. You might prefer something else. There's effects where you got enable animations, jelly mode, whatever that is, desktop cube, interface, desktop. So you can change your icon size. We go to large icons, standard. We're just going to use standard. And of course your fonts. So the Pro version of this is going to give you a lot more utilities and stuff. So if we go to utilities, we got archive manager, backups, calculators, characters, disk usage analyzer, disk. document scanner, viewer, fonts, help, logs, passwords, system monitor, terminal. And we go to graphics. You got Blender already installed, Darktable, Eyedropper, FreeCAD, GNU image manipulation program, Image Viewer, Inkscape, Krita, LibreCAD, LibreDraw, OpenTunes, Photos, and Scribus. So it's pretty cool to have all this stuff pre-installed. Internet-wise, we got Firefox, and we got Remina. Office, we're going to have Calendar, Contacts, Denaro, Evolution, Filate, LibreOffice, LibreOffice Calc Draw. That's all your LibreOffice suite there. Minder, Planify. If you're switching over from Windows, this would be one of the ones that I would definitely recommend. Zorin OS is a really good one. You got OBS Studio already pre-installed. Audacity for your music. Brassario, same thing for music. Cheese, Handbrake. Kdenlive, Mix. Network displays, OBS Studio, Rhythmbox, Sound Recorder, Videos, and VLC Media Player. All that is pre-installed on this. Sound and video, we were just there, so we'll back up out of that again. System tools. You have disk, which is nice for taking a look at formatting drives and doing different stuff with your hard drives. You can see our NVMe drive right here. We're going to close that out because we don't need that. Where were we at? System tools. Yeah, disk, main menu, and video. X server settings, which is my NVIDIA driver. So that shows my GTX 1070 right there. So that's pretty cool. It's got the driver in for that. I went with the latest NVIDIA drivers for it. Do you really want to quit? Oh yeah, that's why I hit the close button. So we'll take a look at a couple more things here. Software updater, I'm going to go there next because we are going to have to do some updates on this, I'm pretty sure. I don't know, I think I told it to update on the install. I can't remember. But I'm pretty sure even after you install it, there's still going to be, yep, 477.5 megabytes. So we can click the details of that. And it'll just show you all the different things that are going to need updated on here. And there is a Zorin update as well. System components. So we're going to go with install now. And we're going to have to password into that. So we're going to download and install the updates. You can do the same thing. The only thing I'm going to do once this is updated is I am literally going to go in here and download Steam on it. And this is the build that we're going to work on now that iRacing uses EOS anti-cheat. We're going to see if we can make that play nice with Proton. And we're going to see if we can get iRacing installed and working on Linux, but it's not just iRacing we need to make work. We need to make our Oculus Rift work, and we need to make our direct drive wheels work. Because if none of those work, then this isn't this is not a viable option for me. I want it to be a viable option. I mean, I can go back in time to 2015 where I ran 14, 12, 11, where I literally ran iRacing on Linux because I was the guy that come down that road. I preferred Linux over Windows. The one thing that we always fought, though, was getting wheels to work, but my G27 and G29 both work perfect with it. But now that we're on the later direct drives, I don't know how that's going to work as you see this installing. I don't want the video to drag on too long. I just wanted to give you a good rundown of Zorin OS. And man, it made that stuff awful small, so we might change that in the appearance again. See if it multitasks well. Yes, it does. We have the i5. Let's see if we can do an about real quick. Oh, where's it at? Utilities, maybe. There's a system monitor there and a terminal. Settings, I don't know. Background multitasking. Usually there's an about somewhere that shows you, and I know that there is in Zorin too. I'm just not thinking where it's at. Oh, did I just see it? About. There's our hardware model. Gigabyte Technology Ltd Z276 270X Ultra Gaming Motherboard. Memory 16 gigs. Processor, we have an Intel Core i5 6600K CPU, 3.5 gigahertz times 4. Graphics, NVIDIA Corporation GP104 GeForce GTX 1070. Disk capacity 512.1 gigabytes. We are running Zorin OS 17.3 Pro, 64-bit, Windows System X11. We got software updates and upgrade Zorin. What if we upgrade Zorin? Checking for upgrades. I thought Pro was the top of the line, so I'm not sure what we're looking at here, or if it's even going to do anything. It says it's checking for updates, so I'm not sure what that may or may not entail right here, because we're running the updates in the background as well. We're installing the updates. I probably should have done this after I installed the update, so we're just going to pretend like we didn't click on that. There's your date and time right there. So if you want a 12-hour or a 24-hour format, that's automatic date and time. Time zone right here. Format's on 24 hours. I'm going to switch it to AM PM because I just prefer that better. Well, there's my account information that I didn't need to show you, but we did anyway. Network connected, 1000 megabyte network adapter, which is pretty standard on a desktop. Software updater, we are almost installed on all of our updates that we had to start with, but that part doesn't concern you. I'll cut you back on when we download Steam. Alright, looks like we're done with that. We're going to restart the computer now. And I'm going to put the side panels back on it. So that's what I'm working on. And that's only for a more dramatic closeout of the video here, obviously. We're going to see how easy or not so easy that it boots back in here, because I don't really know. I just know that there's a way that this plugs in here, and what I'm doing is not quite the way that it's supposed to plug in. But what do I know, right? There we go. We got it to plug back in, but not the way we needed it to. So we're going to unplug that and try it again. Oh my goodness, have you ever... This is usually the easy panel. This isn't the hard one, so this is usually the easy one, but it's not being too easy today because it doesn't want to go all the way up in there. But if I didn't have the camera on, it would go right in. So we're not going to mess with that for a second. And we are going to go to our software. So we're going to click right there on the software icon, and you see it's going to open all this up, and we're going to find a search. Top left hand corner, and we're going to type Steam. And it's going to search for it, and right here is our Steam, and we are going to actually install it. So you can see it's at about 2% now. I'll cut you back on after we get Steam installed. Well, this is pretty cool. I don't know if I'm going to get it to work yet. We got Steam updated, but I haven't got into there. We have NovaBench on here, so we just installed it. Actually, we're going to see if it works. It's showing our system as an i5 6600K, NVIDIA GTX 1070, 8 gigs, 16 gigs of memory, a Patriot M2 P320, 512 gigabytes. So let's see if it'll test here. I didn't actually install it. I just literally downloaded it, opened it with a archive manager, and then I double clicked on the thing, and it's testing. So I'm gonna fast forward you through the tests, and we're gonna see how 512 on the CPU, 332 on the GPU, 421 on our memory. That's really high on the memory. 251 on the storage, which is really good too. So that's showing that the NVMe is working real good in here, but the memory score, that's way higher than I've seen on Windows. 332 is about on average with what this thing will pull on Windows, and 512 is probably close to what it'll pull as well. Online comparison, it has it. Relative comparison of Apple M1 Pro, I don't know. We have to upgrade to see that, so we'll look at the advisor. Gaming, maybe. Are you happy with the computer's performance? We're going to click yes. Run advisor. Nope, we got to upgrade to that. So it doesn't have the same, it has the overview, but it doesn't have the option that Windows does. So we can look at temperature maybe? Nope, we're going to have to upgrade. I need to just get the upgraded version of this, right? But this is really cool. I'm glad that we could do that. It says open in browser, so let's try that. Oh, it said that. I don't guess that part's going to work either. That's pretty cool, though. We got our Nova Bench to work, so we know from running all the other Nova Bench tests what the numbers mean, basically. And it's really awesome to see it perform this well in Linux, and I'm pretty sure it's going to run iRacing. I think that needs to be a separate video, though. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you why. Because I believe it's going to take a while to install it. And I still have to sign into all my accounts in order to get on the Steam here and download iRacing, and we've seen me try that before. And I got into iRacing, I just couldn't make it run, so I'm going to have to do some legwork on that to figure it out. This is going to do it for the video. This is the final build on the A10 case, so I'm going to hang on to this one for a while because we're going to make iRacing work on it. I'm pretty confident that we can now. So this is, when I say we're going to make iRacing work on it, not just work on the computer, but work on Zorin OS. If you want to know how to do the benchmark on Zorin OS, if you don't know how, what I did was downloaded it. Let me open that up. Go to the downloads here. And if you're coming over from Windows, I mean, this is, it's all pretty standard. But this made it really easy. If you want things like Nova Bench, let's go back a step here. Open that up and let's type in Nova Bench. Linux. Go to download Nova Bench. If you look right here, it says choose your download. Just choose Linux. Works on most distros from 2020 and later. So you know that it's going to work on the Zorin distro that we have here. So click on that and download it. Once you get it downloaded, go to your download folders right here, and you'll see the tar.gz. So if I click on that one time with the left click and then right click it, it gives you the option to open it with the archive manager. Just like that. So you'll see the Nova Bench folder when you do that here. And if you double click the Nova Bench folder, you're going to see that little gear right there that says Nova Bench 5.43 AMD 64 APPLM. Double click it and it's going to ask you if you want to run it, and we're going to click run anyway, and you're going to see the Nova Bench window boot up right here. And that's how you do Nova Bench benchmark on Linux Zorin OS right here. So I'm glad we could put this one together. That was a full install on the Zorin OS 64. Kind of I don't know if it was a professional, no, it definitely wasn't a professional rundown of the Zorin OS, but you can see it's user friendly. So if you're coming over from Windows and you want to try it, you got your Steam games, and when you activate Proton, a lot of your games are going to work on here. I have no doubt about it. You're going to have problems if you play games like Valorant and stuff like that. I think you'd have to do quite a bit of work to get it working. You know, quite a bit of legwork there, but a lot of your other games are going to run on it natively, and this is a way, if you have older hardware, to keep your older hardware relevant. I still can't believe on the Nova Bench how much better the memory works on Linux, and everything else was on par with Windows, so we didn't have any problem with that. And if you need to do, you know, Office stuff, there's LibreOffice right here. You have all your templates, your writer documents, calc spreadsheet. So everything to match up basically with Microsoft Office is right there. I'm not going to say it's as good as Microsoft Office, but it is an Office suite that does work. So the Software Center is nice if you want to work, create, play. So that's gaming. You got Editor's Choice, News and Updated, and other software. And eventually that'll load up, I would think. Eventually it would load up, I would hope. I don't know. I don't know how well our internet's working right now anyway. But that's going to do it for the video. This one I made a fun one. I really did, because I wanted to go a different direction. Oh, look. It finally opened up. So it shows you all the Linux games here. There's a whole bunch of them too. Mars, Ridiculous, K-Mines, K-Bounce, Lunati. You can go through that and play around. That's the nice part about it. If you want to work, it's going to show you all the stuff for that. It'll load up the Editor's Choice, of course, News and Updated. But I think it was pretty cool that we got to do something finally with our Thermaltake A10 case. And we put a really cool Intel build in there with a little i5 6600K. This thing is working great too. I mean, no issues with it. GTX 1070, 650 watt power supply. I'm going to leave this thing just like it is. I don't see any reason to change it. I don't. 512 gig NVMe. And we have a working, usable running system right here. Actually for cheap. I used parts left over from other builds once again, and we put something together that's going to work great for us here, and I'm happy about that. So like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this, or if you just want to see what ignorant stuff I'm up to next. I appreciate all the views. I appreciate each and every one of you subscribers. It's free to like, it's free to comment, and it's free to subscribe.